what I think maybe a lot of people don't know is how far back we go.
I know, yeah.
They might think we started like, what is that, 2016?
Yeah, with G3 or something.
Oh, G3, of course. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was my yeah, but even before then, we were.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the year that we first met, but it was early 80s. 84, yeah. And I think it was it at the it was at a concert that Alcatraz was playing. Is that right? I know we met at the Troubadour. Way back. That was before I joined Dave Roth's band. We met at the Troubadour. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I was hanging with Dave there a couple of times.
Right.
Was that the time?
And then say what?
I was hanging with Dave there a couple of times. Like, I'm talking when the thing was going down and he wasn't in the band, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
That's probably long. It's a little fuzzy back there, you know.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I think when we were doing what we were doing back then, we weren't thinking 30 years forward, you know. What is that, 40?
I know. 40 years. I think it was, yeah, like 38 years. Yeah.
Long time.
It's funny. I got some photos of us back then too. We were so young.
No. I have on my phone for your number, picture of you and me, I think from Nam or something.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah,
that was great. I remember because I told you the whole story about when you had left Alcatraz, and then they were looking for somebody. What I remember is I just heard about it, and I heard you were already gone, and I went down to audition.
Right.
And it was interesting because I didn't play, I didn't play like you, and I was expecting that they would want somebody, that could really shred, because I wasn't really that guy. But I had a couple of things going on, but I had done the audition, and I know that I go in there and I play, and the guys in the band are like, no, that he's not right. So I thought, okay, they got who they wanted. They found the right replacement for the best that they could do, and then I got a call that I got the gig. And that story where the first show, I think it was in where the heck was it? Riverside, and nobody knew. The majority of the people there were there to see you.
Oh.
And I'm walking out onto the stage, and nobody knew that you weren't there.
I'm sure somebody must have known.
So, Yngwie, as far as I could tell, nobody knew, because the entire audience was chanting your name as I'm walking to the stage. And I'm completely unknown. I'm just this weird guy that's not Yngwie, I get up there, and man, when I got up on the stage and looked out into the audience, all I saw was this.
Oh my God.
It was hilarious, but I got through it. But then right after that, you started right away with the.
No, what happened with me was that it was so fast, because when I started in Sweden, I started playing when I was 7. I had my first guitar when I was 5 years old. I had my first guitar, but I didn't play until I was 7. And by the time I was 8, I was playing, all this weird stuff. My brother used to go, my older brother. So he went out and bought a good electric guitar, which I eventually kind of got from him,
Yeah.
So once I had an electric guitar and an amp, I said to one of my classmates, I'm not 8 years old. I said, hey, we have a gig on Friday. He's like, what are you talking about? You're playing drums. I don't play drums. It's okay. I show you how to play drums. Don't worry about it. I don't have a drum set. I have a drum set. my grandfather's a drummer. My brother said, so you gotta play on Friday. And I was like, okay. And I just showed him how to do that. And I would just rip over this. I was 8 years old and was feedbacking and shit like this. 8. And
what did you guys play?
Just jammed, you know? I mean, he just held down the beat and I was just making a lot of noise. And this was in the school where you have your lunch, you know? It was like a little stage. So anyway, what I'm trying to say, the reason I said that was because I started from the beginning like that. And by the time I was like 10, 11, I was putting bands together with like 20-year-olds. You know, and they had jobs and stuff. And
now, how were you playing at that age? Like, if you were to kind of compare.
Okay, so by the time I was 8, when I was 8 years old, I got Blackmore's the Fireball album.
Right.
You know, and also in Sweden, you got to remember, in Sweden in the 1970s, there was one TV channel from 6 to 10, and it was usually about farmers, you know, and there was no radio, nothing, no video cassettes. You could go to movies, and that was it, you know.
That was it.
So when you had a record, it was like your whole universe almost, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything else. I heard Clapton before. I loved him. I didn't even know it was Clapton because I thought it was John Mayall.
Yeah.
Which I loved. I thought it was great. But when I heard that album, I learned all that stuff. And then about a year later, I got Made in Japan. And I played all note for note, everything from Made in Japan, Child Time and everything, when I was 10 years old. I know, it's crazy. It's totally.
Well, you know, when you say that all that you had was records.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's hard for people to understand these days because most of the day, a lot of people are just staring into their phone, and when all you have is something like a magazine that you get. I mean, we used to get.
We didn't even have magazines. I remember the first time I saw a guitar player, I thought I found the Bible. That was years later, like 76 or something, you know. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say, so just asking about the level, I was, you know, for being that little kid, I was, you know, I used to blow people's minds, but they thought it was very strange, obviously. But anyway, then I started ruling of like the point I'm trying to make is I started like bossing everybody around and say like, hey, you're supposed to be here at 12 noon. Yeah, but I have a job. I don't give a shit. You're supposed to be at 12 noon and you're fired. Fuck you. I'm 10 years old, right?
You didn't even pay them and you fired them.
And it was hilarious. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is I did all that. And then, you know, 1982, I sent this cassette tape. Remember cassette tapes?
Yeah.
Cassette tape to Guitar Player magazine, and that's how it all started.
That's the Mike Varney thing?
Yeah, which was me playing all the instruments, by the way. Drums, bass, keyboards.
I think you played me that tape.
Yeah, I played everything. So anyway, the reason I'm doing this is how it worked out. So I had that kind of like mentality, solo mentality from the beginning. And then I got a ticket to go to play with Steeler, which I played with like 2 weeks or something. And then I got an offer to be in UFO and became Alcatraz the same day. And I started bossing people around then too. I said to Alcatraz, yeah, I'll join your thing if you let me write the songs. You know. Anyways, so to make long story even longer, what happened was we went to Japan in January '84.
Yeah, I remember.
As soon as we went there, the Japanese let me go, we want solo album. We want solo album.
Oh, okay. So I remember now. Yeah.
So what happened was I started making that album while I was still in Alcatraz. So I recorded the back basic tracks, and then we went on the road, and I would go home and do a solo. Then I would go back on the road and so on. And it was during this time, July '84, when it all came to head in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you know, I left. Mm-hmm. And I just basically went home and finished that album, which was meant to be a Japanese release only, and then started the second album. It was supposed to be the first one. So
so that Rising Force, that first record was only supposed to be a Japanese release?
Yes. Wow. And it hit Billboard charts as an import record, but not on the import charts. It hit the Billboard charts.
Oh wow.
Kids would go buy what was that, $30 back in those days for Japanese pressing?
Yeah.
You know, and people would buy this album like crazy. And no one knew. And then when the label found out, they said, we got to release it in America. So both those albums came out at the same time, you know, marching out.
I see.
I see. It was very strange. But, so.
Yeah, we did things very different back then. I mean, you could have a CD that's an import, and still people would import it because they couldn't download it, or, you know.
No, it was all. I mean, I remember even when I was a little kid. I remember how kids in school would say, "Hey, look, I got the new album, whatever." I don't know, the band's The Sweet or whatever. They were really
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they were
ABBA.
No, it was The Sweet, and Alice Cooper was big in Sweden.
Oh, okay.
I remember Kiss too, but
Yeah.
they would have gone to somebody's house and record their album and have a cassette, and I go, why would you do that? You don't have the cover.
Yeah,
I always wanted a cover.
Yeah, you gotta have something to fetish.
Exactly, you gotta have that thing, and so I think that held true for the longest time. Like where people actually went out and bought the records.
Yeah. Yeah, they would buy. They didn't have a choice. You couldn't, you couldn't rip it or anything.
Well, no, you couldn't make a cassette copy.
Right. But that was a great period.